Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out for our pre-match press conference ahead of the AFC Champions League qualifier against Jamshedpur FC. Today with me, we've got head coach Des Buckingham. Along with him is defender Rahul Beke. Today's press conference will be entirely virtual. If you have a question, please put your name in the chat box. And once I take your name, you can ask your question. We'll begin. Anish from Sportstar, you can start.
Too close, you're getting older. Raul's getting older.
So Anish, you can start.
Hello?
Yeah, Anish, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Hi, coach. Hi, Rahul.
Hi.
So yeah, I just have two questions. First of all, my first question is, I mean, obviously we all know how much in especially in the league stage, how flawless Mumbai City was, coach, and winning the league shield without losing a single match. No one's ever done it. It's an amazing feat. But in the two matches Mumbai City faced Jamshedpur FC, it wasn't the easiest outing, despite being hands down the best team in the league stages. Jamshedpur FC was always a tough opponent to play against. So, is that something that's playing in the team's mind ahead of the qualifier? And secondly, my second question is that, especially after such a good season, obviously the ISL title did not come, but especially winning the league shield after that, what next? Because if it's a disappointing season, you have a lot of things in your mind. Okay, you have to change this, you have to change that. But after such a good season, it's tough not to get complacent and hold on. So as a coach, what's going on in your mind? If you can just tell me a bit about that. So these are my questions.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Firstly, I'll do my best to try and answer those two questions. First one is very simple. Jamshedpur are a good team. I think they showed that throughout the year. They certainly showed it against us twice, and then they showed it in the last 4 or 5 games that they had at the end of the regular season, when they kind of found their groove and found their way of playing. So it's a very simple one for us. They caused us problems because they're a good team. They've got good individuals. They've got a good coach in AD. So we have to be on top of our game, and we need to do everything that we can to put ourselves in the position to do what we did in the league stage, which was to come away with 2 results. The first, a draw at home, and then finding a way to win it at their place. So hopefully that answers the first part. Second part, in terms of our season, I think when I look back across the last 12 months, we spoke about a team that wants to be successful, and there's many different ways of defining success. But when I look back across the last 12 months, we finished second in the Champions League group stage. We made the Durand Cup final. We won the ISL League by being unbeaten up until that point. And now we're putting ourselves in a position to try and go to the Champions League again. So for me, it's been a wonderful 12 months, but it's not one that we're finished with yet. We have obviously this game and then the Super Cup afterwards, which we're looking forward to. So yeah, we're not quite finished yet. And it's a game that we know we have to be on top of, and one we're very excited about playing.
Thank you, coach. All the best.
Thanks, Anish. We'll come back for a follow-up later in case you have one.
Yeah.
Anuj Mishra from IANS. Anuj, you can ask your question.
Hello.
Yes, Anuj, we can hear you.
Yeah, hi coach. Just continuing on that same question, like having previously defeated Jamshedpur in the ISL, like can we say that the Mumbai will be having an psychological advantage against them during the AFC Champions League qualifier?
It's not the way that I look at the game. No, I think they were 2 very different games. And the pleasing thing was not just those 2 games, but the 20 games, or the 18 in particular, where we went unbeaten. We had to find different ways to win those games, or to perform, and perform being the most important, because each team will come with their different challenges, and we have to find different ways to try and play the way we want, whilst also trying to get some success in terms of the results. So yeah, I think we've shown that we can, but we've shown that all season. But that doesn't count for anything going into this game. It's making sure that, I think you look at it's like the Mamba mentality of trying to do everything you can, as well as you can, to prepare yourself as well as you can for what you're about to go into. And if everyone individually does that, when you bring the team together collectively, you hope that, with the trust in what we do and how we do it, that's enough then to get you across the line.
Coach, my second question will be how has the break helped you as a team to recalibrate ahead of the AFC Champions League qualifier? How has the break helped you?
I think when you speak to footballers or coaches around the world, it'd be nice to be able to play this game off the back of a regular season, or off the back of, and it's the same for Jamshedpur. I'm sure we haven't played in 2.5 weeks ourselves, and Jamshedpur wouldn't have played for a longer period than that. So I think these types of games, it'd be nice to be able to play off the back of that rather than with a break, but it is what it is. We've done everything we can to prepare ourselves. We had a small 5-6 day break after the semi-final, but the players have been back in training now for the last 12-14 days to try and do everything we can to get as ready as we can for what is going to be a very tough challenge.
Thanks, Anuj. We'll come back. You've got Keshav from Khel Now. Keshav, you have a question?
Good afternoon, coach. This is Keshav from Khel Now. So my question to you is that one of the key components of Jamshedpur's team this season was J. Emmanuel Thomas, and he also finished the season really well with some brilliant performances. So what do you think of him and the danger that he can pose for you guys tomorrow, or day after tomorrow?
Yeah, Jay is one of many players that they have. You look back at his playing experience. He's someone that's played in the Premier League, and to be able to bring players like him and others, we've got our own players which I won't go into, but to be able to bring players of his caliber and quality to the league, still while they're in there, they have their qualities and still kind of in their prime. I think it's wonderful for the game here. But he's one of a few players that we need to be mindful of, because we know what he can do, even though he's playing or has played at the back end of the season in a slightly different role than maybe he had done previously before arriving here.
Okay, thank you, coach.
Thanks, Keshav. Rutvik.
Hi, Des. Hi, Rahul. I have a question for the both of you. Firstly, Rahul, I just wanted to get a player's view from this. How did you guys reset after the, obviously the heartbreaking defeat in penalties? How did you sort of go back and put that away and come back into training? Like Des said, you had a bit of a break, but you came back. So how did you guys reset after that?
Hi. So it's very important for a break after that semi-final game, and now all the players are back. We have been training for last 12 days. Everyone is motivated and ready for this game. So this game is very important for us, just like any other game. It's important that we win this game and get qualified for the Champions League stage. So everyone is ready for that.
Right, thanks. And to coach, just looking at this game in isolation, how crucial is it, and how eager is the team to get to the Champions League, especially given, what Mumbai City did last year at that stage?
Yeah, I've spoken on this before. The Champions League is the highest level of club football that you can play at, and to be able to go and do what we were fortunate to do last year. We were only the second Indian club to go to the Champions League. And we were the first team to go and win a game. And not only did we win one, we won two and managed to get a draw out. So we got 3 results in 6 of the games. So that allowed us to show what the players from here can do, and also hopefully what Indian players and what the league could do at this level of football. We're also mindful that this could be the last opportunity for an Indian team to go to the Asian Champions League for a couple of years. So we've had the hunger. We've experienced what it is. It's a very exciting tournament to be part of, and it's one that the players that played in it last year are very keen to try and do everything we can to put ourselves back in that position for next season. But we know it won't be easy. Jamshedpur will be trying to do exactly the same thing, but it's a very exciting one for many reasons.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rutvik. We've got Rizu Shukla. Rizu, you have a question?
Good afternoon. This is Rizu Shukla from the Sports Grail. My question is to Rahul. Last time, Rahul, you created history by scoring in the AFC Champions League group stage. And does it add extra motivation to qualify again for the tournament's group stage and perform again at the highest level of football, club football in Asia?
Obviously, as a player, we all wanted to play at the highest level, and this is the one stage where all Indians dream of playing in the Champions League. So this year also we got that thing in our mind, and that's what I've said before. We all are motivated, ready for this game, because if we win this game, we will be again getting a opportunity to play in the Champions League. So obviously it's there in my mind also that I want to win this game and get back to the Champions League stage where we can do well again.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, Rizu. We've got Devarchit from PTI.
Sorry. Hi. Good afternoon. My question was, how has been the preparation? This question is for the coach, and if there are at all any injury concerns ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think preparation has been as good as it can be. We're obviously having to rejig a few things or reshuffle a few things after the playoffs, and then we had 5 players go with the national team, which is a wonderful achievement. You know, especially it's always nice to be called up to your national team, 3 of which had gone before, but certainly for 2 of the players in Metab and for Fuba to be called into their first experience, and certainly for Metab that took to the field, that's a wonderful thing for him, but also for his family and the club to be able to send that many players to represent the country, and for them to be successful was wonderful to sit here, watch and support. So, you know, with the exception of those 5 that were away, everyone is back in training. Everybody is available. And we're trained today and tomorrow before we fly out to play the game.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you, Devachit. Livin from IFTWC.
Good afternoon, coach. So I've got 2 questions. At first, like Mumbai had a wonderful season both in Durand Cup and the ISL. So do you think that confidence level will be high ahead of the game? And the second question is like the Super Cup will begin right after the end of the game. So do you think that it will also be like a practice test for the upcoming Super Cup?
Like, I think you can be confident. I think we've shown that if we can hold ourselves to the levels that we want, firstly individually, on what the players do, that's preparing as well as they can. Spoke about this way of working, that puts us in the best position to try and perform. And if we can do that, we've shown over the regular season, certainly for the last 12 months, that puts us in a strong position to hopefully get the result. But we're also not naive enough to recognise that, you know, that's not always good enough. The hard work, the other parts that come with football and a one-off game in particular, you have to be at your best, and you have to do everything you can. And then you hope if you do that you come away with the result. So, is there confidence going into the game? I think there's trust and confidence in what we do, and if we can do that, we'll put ourselves in the best position we can. In terms of the Super Cup, look, we'll approach the Super Cup and focus on that once this game is done. This is the only thing at the moment we're looking at, and it's very important that we don't look past it.
Thank you, coach, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Levin. Shahid, you have a question?
Hi, coach. My question's for you. Is there something different perhaps that the team is doing to prepare for, say, the conditions? Because I'm not sure, but this might be like slightly different conditions to what you've experienced, you know, from when the league was on the regular season. And also given that there's been a long gap from your last competitive match. And also, is there also like a slight sense of pressure as well? Because given that all you have achieved in this season, you know, that incredible unbeaten run to claim the title, there is still a chance that you might not get the Champions League spot, which in any other circumstance, it should have been yours anyway.
Yeah, I'll start with the second. I think Jamshedpur would argue that from what they did last year. They'll say that they should deserve to go because they won the league last year. So it's a tricky situation for both, and I think it's a good solution that's been found to try and make sure that, again, India does send representation, and I'm sure whichever team, and we hope it's us, that does go, will try and represent the country and the clubs as well as they can, hopefully the same way that we did last year. in terms of preparing slightly differently, not too much. We've changed our training times, but that's been more based around Ramadan and making sure that we can allow our players to firstly respect that and do what they need to do, whilst also, it's almost tied into the kickoff times that will be a little bit later than what we experienced in the ISL as well. So not too much different, but we've adapted. But we've done, it's nothing we haven't done before.
Fair enough. Thanks, coach.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shahid. Ashish, sir, from Viva Football. Your question?
Yeah, hi coach. This is Ashish from Viva Football Magazine. You have played a very enterprising football right throughout the season and scoring goals as well. But off late, goal scoring has been an issue. Do you think that would be a worrying factor? And for Rahul, how is it for a player to play at the Asian level?
I think if scoring 54 goals in a regular season is a problem, I've got far bigger problems to talk about than that. So no, I'm not concerned. I think we outscored the next nearest team by over, I think it was 20 goals in the end. So we know we have goals everywhere across the field. So it's not a concern. It's just making sure that we do everything we can to put ourselves back in those positions to create those opportunities, and then make sure again that we take those chances as and when they do come in the next game.
Yeah.
Hi, Ashish. So as I said this before also, for the Indian players, Asian level is the highest platform, what I can say. And playing there is what each and every Indian player wants. And obviously we got an opportunity right in front of us. So it's important that we win this game and we get another chance to play there. So it's very important for all the players to play there like we did last year, especially for the youngsters. So yes, it's the highest stage and that's where we want to go.
Great, thanks. All the best.
Thank you, Ashish. Just a reminder, in case anybody has any questions, please put your names in the chat box. Vidur, do you have any questions that we received otherwise?
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions here from ANI. For coach, playing in an AFC Champions League qualifiers as a coach, what does this feel like to, compete at a continental competition? And for Rahul, you are playing against Jamshedpur. You have faced them in the ISL before. Playing against them in the AFC Champions League qualifier will be different, or will it have the same feel to it?
Coaching at that level.
Yeah. I said last year before we went to the Champions League, you as a coach, certainly you want to coach against the best coaches that you can at club level, and to do that you have to put yourself in amongst this competition. And same with the players want to compete against the best in Asia, and to do that, this competition gives you the chance to do that. So look, I've had some wonderful experiences, firstly at Champions League last year, other qualifying campaigns that I've done with national teams to go to World Cups and the Olympic Games, and they're all very special in their own right. But the most important thing is that you do everything you can to prepare for those playoff games. And there's no different feeling for me than playing a regular league game. But of course, what it does do is it puts you in a very strong position and something to look forward to on top of what you know is going to come for next season, if you can do everything you can.
Hi. So yeah, we have faced them twice in the league stage, but it's a totally different game. This will be only one game. We won't get another chance. So the game against Jamshedpur in 2 days will be a different game. So we all, as a team, as a player, we all are ready for it.
Thank you, Rahul. Vidur, do we have any further questions from the list that we received?
Yeah, so my question is for Rahul. Rahul, now in the Indian camp, there were 5 players from your club. How was that feeling like, interacting with them in the national team? Was it a bit different, or did it help you come closer together? And for coach, you've been in the AFC Champions League qualifier before, but Jamshedpur has always been a tough prospect for you because they're very defensively sound. Is there any different plan for tackling them in this game, in a one-off game?
Yeah, it's a great feeling to see your teammates in the national team, especially for Purva and Mehtab. That was the first time being in the national team. I think they did the hard work, and that's the reason they are there. And it was really great for all five of us to win the tournament. It was our first time we are winning together. So we'll make sure that in coming matches for national team, will represent and we do well for the national team.
Jamshedpur's defensive.
Jamshedpur, we know last year they were obviously very effective and done well to win the league. And this year, under 80, they've haven't changed too much, but they're very effective in what they do again. They've got good players that when they have the ball can certainly cause you problems from many different areas. And yes, defensively, they are sound. They're well set up and they're very well organised. But that's the beauty of this competition now. We're entering what will be the 10th season of the ISL next year. And for every year, certainly in the 2 years I've been here, the quality of what's on offer has improved. The tactics and how people approach games has improved. The professionalism of the clubs has improved. And that's only good for football. So, look, I'm expecting another tough and exciting game against a very good team. But again, the focus will be making sure that we do everything we can to put ourselves in the best position we can to come away with a result that we would all like.
Thank you, Coach. Sandeep, you have a question?
Yeah, first of all the best to tomorrow, Coach, and congratulations on the season so far. I just wanted to follow up on the question that was asked earlier. You have two players who got first-time call-ups for the national team. You've had a very long association with national teams as well. How important or how does it make you feel as a coach to get these two into the teams and more players hopefully in the future in really difficult positions to break into as well? So what does that mean for you as a coach?
It's part of my job was to come here and help develop players. And if that development takes them onto national teams, then great, because I think any player will tell you to go on and represent your country. And I've been fortunate now to obviously coached at national level. And I've seen the pride that brings, not just to the players who work extremely hard to try and get selected, but certainly those that do take to the field. There's not many people in their lives that will get an opportunity to go and represent, step on the football field to represent their country. And, that's very special for the players. And again, part of my job and the staff's job here and the players is to try and do as well as we can. And if we can do that, they put themselves in a position where it's then down to the national staff to select who they think is who's performing and who will help them do well for now and hopefully for the future.
All the best, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Just a final call. If there's any questions, we'll take the last couple. Vidur, do we have anything? Vidur, do we have any questions?
Yeah, just a question from Sportskeeda for Des. So, Coach, how easy or difficult is it to prepare for a one-off fixture like this qualifier without much opportunity to build momentum ahead of the game?
I think it'd be difficult if we were starting the season, but we're not. We're coming off the back of a season, so we've got the same playing group. We obviously extended our season a little bit longer with the semi-finals, the two semi-final games. So I think it's a little bit easier maybe than what it would have been if we were to start the season. So the main thing is we've been trying to, that's the reason the players have been back in for the period of time they have. We're trying to keep the players and the momentum that we did have carrying into this game. And I feel we've done that, from a training point of view. I can use last night's training session as an example. It was very sharp, very good. The players have got a very clear understanding on still what we're doing and trying to do. And then we've held internal games and also had a friendly leading into this game as well to try and do everything we can to position ourselves as well as we can for the game.
Thank you. Anil, do you have a question? I think can't come up.
Hi, Coach. Coach, do you think such an important match, to qualify for the AFC Champions League should be just a one-off?
Can get me in trouble. My understanding was that this game would be a two-legged affair, one home and one away. That was my understanding at the start of the season. That that seems to have changed. I'm not privy to the detail as to why that is. But I don't have any control over that, and neither do the playing group. So we get on with it. We accept it's a one-off match, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that we put ourselves in that position to try and win that one-off match. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
But are you happy about it?
I don't have a choice, so it doesn't matter whether I'm happy or not. So I said we'll get on with it. We're not ones that would privately or publicly, we're not ones that speak out good or bad at any point anyway. So we just get on with what we're told we need to get on with, and we get on with that and do things as well as we can. And that's what we've done since I've been here, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Thanks, Anil. Any further questions, guys? All right. Thank you so much for your time again this afternoon. We'll speak to you very soon ahead of the Super Cup. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.